Landforms and landscapes case studies. So, describe and explain the process of freeze-thaw weathering with a diagram. Well, this is a weird case study, but it doesn't ask for a place, so yeah, you just gotta explain it and draw your diagram. That's kind of the replacement for a place-specific location. It's a diagram. So I'll explain it as I go with the diagram. So first, as you can see, rocks, they often have cracks, right? So water enters the cracks. And then at night, the temperature falls, okay? And then it gets colder. So the water freezes. And when water freezes, it expands, as seen if you put like a super full bottle of water or a super full bottle of anything in the refrigerator. Well, it explodes because the water expands and therefore puts stress on cracks, as you can see here with these arrows indicating that it puts stress. And then the next day it thaws again, and then more water enters because the place is now bigger, and this happens again and again till eventually it's cracked. So, describe conditions which led to formation of a coral reef. Well, in Bovalin Bay, the Indian Ocean shores have temperatures above 20 degrees Celsius all year round. And to make a coral reef, you need temperatures above 18 degrees all year round, so the temperature is very suitable. It also has shallow water at a depth of 10 meters. So the Bovalin Bay, that is. It has shallow water at depth of 10 meters. The water is free from sediment, so it's super clear and sunlight can pass through. And the Valin Bay is unpolluted as it's not industrialized, so there is a plentiful supply of oxygen in the water. So, quick summary, Bovalin Bay, the Indian Ocean shores have temperatures above 20 degrees Celsius. The Bovalin Bay has shallow water at only 10 meters deep. The water is free from sediment, so sunlight can pass through. And the Valin Bay is unpolluted as it's not industrialized, so there's lots of oxygen, clean oxygen for the water. So, weathering of rocks. Why is it more rapid in humid, so wet tropical regions than in temperate regions, so more dry regions? Why is weathering more rapid in humid areas and tropical regions? Well, tropical regions generally have a higher temperature, so more rainfall, which encourages more chemical weathering, such as carbonation and oxidation. Also, chemical weathering doubles with every rise of 10 degrees. And there's also more biological weathering, as there's far more plant growth, thus more likelihood of tree roots in cracks. Because obviously in tropical regions there are a lot more plants growing than in a normal region. So there's the likelihood that there are some roots of some trees or something in cracks of rocks is higher. So then also higher temperatures and rainfall cause a more rapid release of carbon dioxide from decay of plants. So, so more weathering. What are some problems that tropical storms cause for people? And so this is the case study. Cyclones in Bangladesh. Well, people have to walk long distances to find fresh water as the local groundwater sources are flooded by the Ganges. So it's obviously then dirty. So people have to walk long distances to find the fresh water that they want to drink because local groundwater sources are flooded by the Ganges. Also, their rice crops will be damaged, so this will lead to lack of food, and then there'll be death because of either starvation, malnutrition, drowning, etc. Houses will be destroyed by strong winds that sweep in from the Bay of Bengal. People also have to evacuate and live in refugee camps in places like Dhaka, which is the capital. And then also many roads will be flooded or blocked, so it's very difficult for aid to come in. So, why are effects of tropical storms greater in a less economically developed country than in a more economically developed country? Well, I'm sorry. Well, we're going to look at Bangladesh and Florida. In more economically developed countries, like the USA, buildings in places like Florida are more likely to be made of stronger materials, so there's less likely to be destruction. And in less economically developed countries like Bangladesh, they are more likely to not have finances and the expertise or technology or even just equipment to be able to rebuild properly. And also, MEDCs do have warning systems and move people to places of safety, because in MEDCs we have a lot more scientists who can predict stuff than in a poor country. So, causes of any pollution and its effects on people and the environment. We're going to look at air pollution in Beijing. Well, there's a very, very high incidence, so occurrence, a lot of this is happening, of lung cancer and cardiovascular disease. Yeah, because of all that air pollution. So that's an effect, high incidence of lung cancer. And the lung cancer is 2 to 3 times more common in cities than in the countryside. And sulfur dioxide emissions result in acid rain and the greenhouse effect. And the large-scale use of formaldehyde in construction contributes to indoor air pollution. So you should know this word, formaldehyde, but you can also say large-scale use of chemicals in construction contribute to indoor air pollution. Also, factories found in places like the neighboring Hebei province, which operate illegally at night to avoid the scrutiny of environmental inspectors, release harmful gases. You technically don't need to know this Hebei province by heart, because you can just make one up, but make sure it sounds kind of realistic. You can make it like, don't make it Ching Chang Chong province. You can make it like Xiang or Hang Tao, you know what I'm saying. Just make it realistic. What are some causes and effects of pollution of a river or ocean or a lake or a sea or whatever? Well, we're going to look at the North Sea. Firstly, toxic waste from industries along the Rhine enter the North Sea. So fuels are dumped, tanks are washed out from cargo vessels or oil tankers. So toxic waste from industries along Rhine, fuels are dumped from boats. Also, diseased seals are washed up on beaches around the Wash in eastern England. So those are some effects of the pollution.